Hello, I'm James. Welcome to another Jonesing for Film theatrical review. Yes, Men in Black 3, a sequel to a decade-old franchise. So in Men in Black 3, an alien criminal goes back in time and alters the future. Now Agent J, played by Will Smith, must also time travel, team up with a young Agent K, and prevent the alien from succeeding. And now we have our return to the franchise. Now I'm a big Men in Black fan. I really enjoy the first one, and there's parts of the second one I like, but overall I could do without it. So I was really looking forward to them doing a third movie. And like I said, the second movie came out a decade ago. It came out in like 2002. Now, the Men in Black movies haven't really had strong stories. And the overview I just gave probably would indicate nothing's changed. But there is a bit more to this story that I'm not going to get into, and I have to say this one has the strongest plot of the three films. While the first one had the training of Will Smith's character, the main story was about an alien who just wanted to steal a little trinket. And yes, I know it was more than a little trinket, but I'm trying not to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen the first film. Although, if you haven't seen the first film, why are you watching a review for the third one? I'm getting off topic. The second film, I don't want to get into. Like I said, it has some fun moments, but it overall is a really weak film. So yeah, the things that they put into this film make it the strongest of the three for me. The next plus about this movie is the acting. I'm so happy to see Will Smith back at acting. It's been a while. I think it's been since like 2008 since he last acted, which I believe was the movie 7 Pounds. Correct me if I'm wrong. He gives a great performance here and gives some classic Will Smith humor. So welcome back, Mr. Smith, and if you and Martin Lawrence could make a Bad Boys 3, that'd be really great. Another great actor was Tommy Lee Jones. He has been one of my favorite actors for as far back as I can remember. There were some movies I saw when I was a kid just because he was in them. You know, I didn't have a clue what the movie was about or who else was in it. I just saw Tommy Lee Jones was in it and wanted to see it. He also gives a great performance here despite having a very small role. But when he was on screen, he and Smith had some tremendous banter. The whole movie could have been J and K patrolling with them bantering with each other and no major bad guy or anything, and I would have been set. And Jemaine Clement plays the villain, and I gotta say, I thought it was Tim Curry when I first saw him. He looked very reminiscent of Curry despite a bunch of makeup and stuff. He even sounded like Curry. He even overacted like Tim Curry. I went for the better part of the movie thinking that it was Tim Curry, until he laughed. Then I knew it wasn't Tim Curry. Tim Curry's got that very distinctive laugh, you know, so this laugh didn't even sound like Tim Curry not trying to do the Tim Curry laugh. But I gotta say, Clement did a very good job as the villain. Another improvement from the previous two films, although Vincent D'Onofrio in the first movie is a fairly close second. And I loved the design of Clement's character. Really creepy, really interesting, very alien. But by far the best actor here was Josh Brolin. For those who don't know, Josh Brolin plays the young Agent K, which is Tommy Lee Jones' character. He nails the voice, he nails every single one of Jones' mannerism. He really was a young Tommy Lee Jones. The next thing I liked about the movie was the vibe. This felt like a Men in Black movie. They brought the same director back, which is a huge plus, and usually it can be a make or break situation. I hate when a direct sequel is made years after the previous movie, and even though they've brought the cast back, the change in directors changes the vibe, making the movie feel like a different film, not a direct sequel. Sometimes it does work for the better, case in point, Fast and Furious 5, but most times it really doesn't work. Good example of that, the Mummy franchise. So I'm glad that Barry Sonnenfeld returned to the director's chair for this film. Another thing that keeps the tone the same is Danny Elfman's score. That, coupled with the title font in the opening scene, assured me that this was a true Men in Black movie, and not a poor attempt to rejuvenate the franchise. I also really like the alien designs in general, not just the villain, but all of them. There were some really clever creatures in this film. Now, was it just me, or was there a bit more action in this one? And I know these movies aren't typically focused on action, but it felt like there was a bit more here. And this is a good thing because it was a fun action. It wasn't like a dragging action. It was very fun, very fast. And finally, the movie is really funny. I expected a couple of good lines here and there, but there were laughs throughout. And honestly, I didn't find anything wrong with this movie. So overall, I have to give Men in Black 3 a spectacular. When I went in, I expected to give it an excellent or maybe superb, but this movie really surpassed my expectations. And my wish that the summer movie season pick itself up has come true. So I say if you're a fan of the previous films, or at most the first, definitely check this one out. So that is my review of Men in Black 3. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to visit me on Facebook and check out my blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next review.